Hello, everyone. I'm Jamie Price. Welcome to the monthly Ascension topic. So each month I focus on a topic for our progression that Ariane, the Lyran Council of Time, is guiding to support our light work. The overall energies that we're working on this year are all about connection. And if you missed that video that I did, make sure you watch that. I'll put a description in the link below. So, first, I want you to know that I have created a free energy tracking journal for you that you can use to track your energies all throughout the year so that you're deepening your connection. You can download that by clicking the link below to get that emailed to you. And that will help you focus each month and observe your changes over time so that you're strengthening both your inner and your external connection with life. So each topic that Ariane is giving me this year is to help us enhance our empowered connection so that when we're in our full creative power, using your creative harmonic, that higher octave, that higher potential that you're holding, which was last year's focus. And Ariane has often said that the first theme of the year is a big indicator of how to implement the overall energies or something that's going to be important to focus on throughout the year. And the topic that we're covering this month, foundational for your connection, is freedom. First and most importantly, freedom is an inside job. And this is something that I've taught about a lot because freedom is not a new topic. It's a really important aspect of our ascension, and your true sovereignty is within. It's your subtle bridge, your thoughts, emotions, your intentions, which is how you communicate directly with the subtle realm. It's also your perceptions, your choices of how to interact with the external. And we are always in a co creative state with life. So we don't have complete freedom in this realm. We are bound by the laws of this density. We're bound by the laws of our cultures, our countries, governments, families, etc. And I am specifically using the word bound to let any of that resistance surface because that is how you become more aware. And then you neutralize the things that are emotionally charged. Your neutrality creates that freedom within so that you are less bound by the conditions of the physical realm. And that creates more inner stability. And actually, the light language transmission that I'll talk about later will reinforce this. But there are two parts of freedom that I want to talk about. The first, very important for that inner realm, is mental and emotional freedom. And when someone can take your power, which is often related to a lower chakra energy of safety, creativity, or your identity, they can own your mental and emotional focus. And this often occurs unconsciously, like parents teaching through fear, thinking they're doing what's best. Other times it's directly manipulative or deceptive, even though sometimes that can be unconscious also. Your mental and emotional freedom is so important. It opens you to more creativity, even more physical freedom. Your freedom to think and perceive is related to your beliefs, any kind of unresolved trauma. It can also be related to your deeper Akashic information. Yet, all of the information that you need will be in your present moment. And that first pillar of ascension, awareness, is paramount with this. What is your authentic response to something? Is there some background tension that needs to be resolved? Nurturing yourself through mental and emotional change creates that inner freedom instead of suppression or avoidance. Now, the second topic about freedom that I want to talk about is actually very interrelated to this, of course, but it's your freedom to connect to a new potential. And again, remember that Ariane says that this first topic of the year's focus is foundational to shifting into greater connection. And feeling unbound by the current circumstances, your culture, your governments, families, all of that is certainly not always easier, even in the milder challenges sometimes. And there are some intense challenges here on earth. But perceiving your freedom to be able to connect to a new potential will sometimes mean that you're letting go of expectations that might even feel incredibly important to you. It might mean taking actions or experiencing things that feel like a loss of freedom, like staying in a job you don't like because there isn't something better yet. It could be building your mental and emotional freedom within circumstances that aren't easy. They aren't what you're expecting or wanting. And navigating the ups and downs, letting your emotions flow so that they can transform, helps you to reestablish that neutrality, which is another way of saying reestablishing that freedom within that circumstance. Then any physical actions come from that place of neutrality. They come from your freedom. And Ariane was showing this to me for January, that freedom to connect to a new potential, like building a neural network, meaning that sometimes you're connecting and sometimes you're disconnecting things, releasing things, pruning outdated neural patterning. That's the releasing pillar of ascension. But it's not just repetitive. For example, like you wouldn't just think a thought continuously or say a statement continuously, just repeating it to build that neural patterning. You do need the repetition, but you also need rest so that the body can readjust and rebuild. You need time to reflect and have some experiences to reinforce it and refine it. It takes all of that. And one of the challenges we have with sustaining connection to a new potential is looking for the evidence too soon and then giving up before allowing that full patterning to rebuild. So your freedom to connect to a new potential, it's supported by repetition, rest, observing and experiencing things. And that means that you may have to let go of some things. How you need to change to continue to connect that new potential. And don't forget to get that connection mapping journal that I created for this year of connection so that you can detail into some of these specifics for yourself throughout the year, especially as we're moving through each topic monthly, because your observation, your choices for your focus as you move through change, which is constant in the physical, is how you create that inner freedom. And that builds a stronger connection within you to be creative. That builds that strength of your energy so that you're more coherent and therefore you are a more powerful creator in your life. And this brings me to the light language transmission for this topic. Uh, First, if you are interested in learning light language with me online, that class begins on February 11th, and early discounts are available through the end of the year. So, class is really transformative and a really nice way to actually move into some of that non-linear communication and discover even some of that freedom that's available to you in your life. So if learning light language is something that you would like to do, then visit my website for more information about that class. Now, this transmission was so fun to experience because the essence of it was about strengthening that central column of light, like the Jed column or where we would consider the spinal column, but it's really that central column of your chakra system. And I was feeling this spiraling movement all along the core. And that, of course, that central column is what creates that stability. And that can strengthen your energy field so that you have more coherence, that you have more chi, you have more of that electromagnetic flow moving into your life. And Ariane talks about that spiraling flow a lot because it's at the core of everything that we are, because we live in a spiral galaxy. We are fractal of that larger movement. And like the centrifuge, this strengthens strong bonds. It releases weak bonds, things that are illusory or fear based, things that are not serving you anymore. And sometimes that connecting and releasing process needs to be conscious or it needs to be reinforced with actions. So that freedom is you finding those inspired actions or those new perceptions that are helping you to connect to the potentials that you're wanting to create. And remember to download that free mapping journal to amplify your internal and external connections so that we are boldly getting our energy into our lives and into this world. This world really needs more of the loving ones flowing their energy strongly. And speaking of that, please like and share this video with others that you know that are also on an empowerment journey. Subscribe here on YouTube, hit that notification bell to receive those notifications of upcoming videos. I am doing the quarterly reading from the Cosmic Consciousness Ascension deck soon, and that will also help give you some guidelines for using these energies to amplify your freedom. And for freedom, I would like for you to leave a specific comment below. And this helps us not only express our own energy and desires into our lives, but it gives each of us an opportunity to support each other as you read through some of them. You give them a like, give them some energetic momentum. And this is one aspect of our light work, putting more light into this field that we are immersed in within all of this chaotic change of the old systems being transformed. So, after you listen to the light language, think about what freedom you'd like to experience in your life. And it can be specific, it can be broader, but leave a comment below like, I am free to love my work, to enjoy my coworkers, to feel safe in my family, more freedom to communicate with love, more freedom to play. And I recommend that you pick a topic and put more energy behind that this month. And that actually also teaches you how things are connected because change in one area affects all of these other areas. And even though you may not have focused on it directly, you start to see the transformation in that as well. So leave a comment below of the freedom that you would like to bring to Earth more by living it, being it, and then seeing it. I hope you have an amazing January and enjoy the light language.
Bebenen yarut ukwa. Bramam am cherkret adet et sonon chulkremret et ororma mem. Ma renand tekret met dikret ne ter u huam mam kret et kan shayeruk orodet urme ma cherut. Kum brandat iknerut orm meker utkruma. Pra nen chau randa ka ua koremem. Ban gnendet ken Chat grandat ma diet et rul renend. Tan grandat sum sharat mem ba renket kumam. En sharat grandat parat and graurat al remme shum ban gnumma grandat arat kel rakaderut ukurat grorum derut ua tormdat erut ut gnumdat oratat nimdat kron mahtir uchutot grandat kramap atend kandat anandat arut kron mahat etset shukrorat brahnen hakya ua sam sharot kreerat ham randat wa Hamo roro oa rot uruk grandot urut bat randat sukror chend tanan nin erot urukror ta sa hin mea orat ma kan randat ma rundet ukrorandat bren ne et churkror te anna ne et son churutut krem ne anda Så shairen het idet kor krorum bat ma bramemnen shukrortend den ne urutor mem su sem et shurtat ikderut in na hin korem ni rut urkrorum parenet iki isu wem Aniaru Kwa Sham Charatunok orandat mnenor ua Ani grendet brahni endet derut kurtet Rime na charatakriadat Sunu surkok korat re atatiat arab acharut grorum ma hinni neer ut okurat kwa Semaki Samushanduch okoratand, banat sokroratand, ban shurmat unshokroratet ininde eret. Amor en kret ansuch mdandat eret, krend harma wa sen.